Hello YouTube, Star Wars and Politics is back with another video. Now, today's video is going to be about politics, because yesterday's video was about Star Wars. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, go right ahead and watch it. I appreciate the support that you guys have given me on the last video. I hope I can keep it up. Editing will come soon in the future. Right now, I'm just learning the basics right now. And better edits will come in future videos, I promise. So today's video is going to be a political one. So if you don't like politics, I'd recommend you click off. Now today we're going to be discussing about the political party reform. Now reform are led by Nigel Farage. They are a right-wing populist party set on lowering immigration into the UK. They currently have 5 MPs in Parliament. However, if we take a look at polling, you'll see that Reform are tied with Labour or leading Labour in most polls. I think the most recent poll had them tied with Labour on 26% of the vote. 26% ain't that much, but for Reform to be tied with first place or leading the polls, that's a pretty big deal. And a lot of people are wondering if this lead will materialize and that can Reform win these May local elections or the 2029 general election. And I'm going to give my take on it. So, my opinion is that, yes, I think Reform are not going to crash. I think Reform are going to do very well in these May local elections. And I think they will do even better than they did in the 2024 election and the 2029 general election. Because here's the thing. Reform got 14% of the vote in the last general election. That in and of itself is really good for a third party. So they were already popular then, and since then it's just kept on increasing. Because majority of British people in the UK want less immigration, especially in white working class areas in the north of England. And because of that, people are going to vote for Reform. Now I want to say, I have not read the Reform manifesto. I haven't properly looked into what the party's about, how they're going to decrease illegal immigration and whatnot. Because they haven't really said how they're going to do it. They just said, we're going to decrease the votes. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, okay? I will take account for when I make a mistake. But like I said, because majority of British people want less immigration and Reform are campaigning for less immigration, people are going to vote for that party. Now, what about Labour and Conservative? Well, in the 14 years of Tory government, especially around Boris Johnson's time, the Tories said that they were going to get immigration down. However, it just kept going up and up and up and up and up and up. And the current Labour government, channel crossings are increasing, and these are illegal channel crossings. If you don't know what the channel is, it's the English Channel. It's that body of water between England and France. People are literally crossing, using a boat to get from France to England to live in England. And they're getting 5-star hotels, which is just borderline disgraceful. It is disgraceful. Controversial opinion, hate me for it. I don't care. But like I was saying, yeah, so Labour clearly aren't doing that great when it comes to immigration. The Tories definitely did not. So realistically, the only option is Reform. I mean, what about the Lib Dems? The Lib Dems are, let's face it, they're not going to get into power. So realistically, with those options, the only option is Reform, and a lot of people believe that. I mean, I'm too young to vote, so because I live in England, not in Scotland. I think in Scotland I'd be able to vote, but in England, you know, I can't vote yet. So I can't really say who I would vote for, but if people are viewing immigration as the biggest issue and Reform are the only party campaigning for less immigration into the UK, of course they're going to do well. Of course people are going to vote for them. It doesn't matter what you think about immigration or about Reform. If people don't like immigration, and Reform are the only party campaigning for less immigration, then people are going to vote Reform. That's just how people work. They're going to vote for politicians who are promising to solve the issues that the people think are issues. Whether or not they succeed or not, people are still just going to vote for them. So that's why I truly think that reform are going to do well in these May local elections. Is that something to be scared about? Not really. Only if you're an illegal immigrant, then it is, because they'll probably find a way to deport you. But if you're a legal immigrant, I mean, I have a British passport, so what do you do? There's nothing to be afraid about, really. Now, we've already established that Reform are very likely to do well in the May local elections. I would be very surprised if they crashed and burned, because the May local elections are literally in like a week's time. I don't see them losing popularity in a week's time. Now, what about 2029? Could we see a Nigel Farage prime minister? And my answer is probably not. Now, the reason why I say that is because in the last general election, the Tories got wiped. The Conservative Party got wiped, and Labour won a massive landslide. And one of the reasons why is because Reform are a right-wing party, and the Conservatives are a right-wing party. Many of Conservative voters who are on the very right of the party, who wanted less immigration, would have seen how the Tories were doing bad on it. Every single Tory member or voter could see that. And people who really did not like immigration that were in the Tory party, as a result, voted for reform in the 2024 general election because they lost trust in the Tories to deliver on less immigration. And as a result, that's going to create a split in the right-wing vote in the United Kingdom. Now, couldn't you argue that, the Lib Dems could, pip Labour in the back, especially in the south of England, where Labour currently have a lot of seats? Yes, that could happen. However, I think ultimately the right-wing vote split will ultimately benefit Labour. And in the 2029 election, I think Labour will win a slim majority. I don't think it'll be a hung parliament. I think it'll be a Labour slim majority. Right now they have a large majority. It's going to go down to a slim majority because the right-wing vote is going to prevent Reform from becoming the largest party, because there's still the Conservative voters, traditional Labour voters, left-wing people. And that's just going to benefit Labour, because the way first past the post works is that, if you vote in order to win a seat, you only need a plurality of the votes. So if the Labour candidate, let's just say in an area that's predominantly 50% right wing, if a third of people vote for the Labour Party in that constituency, and the people in the right wing constituency that are right leaning split their vote, that would be 25% for the Tories and Reform. Labour would win. So this split in the right wing vote is ultimately going to benefit Labour. It's not going to benefit Reform, because there's still going to be Conservative voters that are going to cause this split. So no, I don't think we'll see a Nigel Farage prime minister in 2029. What I think we will see is a Labour government, a very small Labour government in 2029 getting propped up by Reform. That's what I think we'll see. Yeah, so should you really be scared of Nigel Farage becoming prime minister? Well, even if it was likely that he would, you shouldn't be. But controversial opinion, hate me if you want, I don't care. But like I was saying, no, I just don't think it's gonna happen. Ultimately, the right-wing vote split is going to benefit Labour. In the May local elections, yes, Reform will do well. They will do well. But in 2029, they're not gonna win. They will gain a few seats, don't get me wrong, but they're not gonna win the election. We won't see a Nigel Farage prime minister. So that's my take on Reform. I personally think that they seem to be a party that know their things. They have a set goal. They clearly want to do it. And they're doing well in the polls. People want less immigration. They're gonna vote for Reform. So as a result, yeah, they'll do well in May, but they won't win in 2029. That's my take on it. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I stuttered a lot. Sometimes I stutter whenever I'm making points. I don't know why. I'm gonna try and get that fixed in the future. Anyway, yeah, leave a like and subscribe. And enjoy your day.